It's about time I bring my sewing machine back out. This baby right here has been in the closet for about 3 months now, and I thought it'd be the best time to bring it out. So I've got 3 things that we're gonna be doing today. First off, we're gonna start with this cutie, a little floral dress. I think I would like this a lot better as a top. Hopefully try to make an elastic backing. So basically for the top, I was winging the frick out of it. I used my rotary tool and eyeballed it, and then I realized that I couldn't cut the zipper out and had to use scissors with it. And these aren't fabric scissors, so they were awful. But this is a prime example of how if you put your mind to it, you can will it, and it will be done. But then I utilized the method of eyeballing once again, cutting out a square out of the scrap fabric, utilizing the hem so that I didn't have to hem it once more. Moving on to the elastic backing, somehow in my mind I thought that my mediocre sewing skills would be adequate for this method. But to be fair, it is just sewing elastic bands onto the fabric with a zigzag stitch, stretching them along as you go. But as I progressed, this feat was not as an easy task as I thought it was, and after several elastic bands flinging back at me, I slowly started descending into madness until I completed it. And all that was left to do to turn these 2 pieces of fabric into a solid piece of clothing was to sew down the sides together, and hopefully my mediocre sewing skills could handle 2 straight lines. And this is my personal humble advice, not to sew on the floor because my back was absolutely killing me after sewing on the floor for about 2 hours. Now that I've got it together, make little darts on the side. Also, this is very like Bridgerton-esque. This is me winging the hem. I have no clue if everything is straight. Dare I say I have eaten up with this shirt. Definitely like house wear. Like it's a bit costumey. The back is, it's okay. Next we have this little skirt. I love the pattern of this skirt. I just am not a huge fan of how longer maxi mini skirts look on me. I think what I'm gonna do to add a little bit of spice to it is literally just adding a slit. I'm literally just gonna add a slit. I'm thinking slit around right here. So you could definitely do this more efficiently by pinning the dress, marking where you want to cut the slit, but I'm literally just gonna hold this board here and then cut a straight line and hope for the best. Yeah, don't do that. I changed my tactic and I'm using this disappearing ink pen. This was originally gonna be me giving a tutorial on how to do this, but yeah, you'll see why this should not be taken as a tutorial at all whatsoever. Inside out, right side out, top layer goes in so that the right sides are facing together. We're gonna pin where the slit is to itself, if that makes sense. Little did past Alexis know that this would be the origins of my downfall and frustrations, as I would begin to sew not the inner and outer fabrics together, but to sew the skirt shut inside out and not be able to flip it out as intended at first. And instead of being in awe of my sewing skills, I would come to the harsh realization that I have no idea what I'm doing and I should have probably looked at a tutorial before doing this. This is gonna get really confusing. I don't understand the logistics of it. I don't know what I did. This is how I wear it. This is how the dress is gonna be. So the seams, like sewing the outside fabric with the liner fabric together so that the seam is on the inside, right? First did it, I couldn't flip it out. Like I couldn't flip the skirt out. But what I did was I pinned it like this and I was fidgeting it with it so that I could see where I'd be sewing. It's like you kind of flip it inside out, but not all the way. So I just went like this. When I flip that, I can't flip the whole skirt, can I? No, right? It's as if the outside and the liner fabric away from each other, separated. You have your slit. I don't know what I just did. I'm gonna go with it. I finished sewing, slit again. Now for the moment of truth. Oh my god. I did it. And now all I have to do, I pin it hem this raw edge in. My assistant is not assistant-ing. But we got to a conclusion eventually where I was semi-happy with the slit that I created. And the last one we have is this little checkered houndstooth kind of print. What I want to do with this one is just take up the sleeves, take in the sides. I want to keep the length of the dress, kind of overall make it fit better. So we'll see how that goes. I demolished my skin. I pricked myself so many times. I'm glad I ended with this project as I was basically just sewing straight lines, and I'm pretty sure I can handle that. This is not the vision I was going for. It's pushing down what little of a boob I have. Honestly, at this point, I was kind of over sewing as it took me 2 days to complete 3 items, and I lost my seam ripper, so I basically had to cut out each seam with scissors by hand, but eventually I had completed the dress. I'm actually in awe. But this is the final dress. I just feel so sophisticated. That is gonna do it for my thrift flipping today. And I'll be sure to make some more in the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.